right, we're back at it. Been a long time, James. I didn't realize this until just a few days ago, or yesterday when I was it yesterday? One of the days this week where I posted the newest video to the podcast that we hadn't podcasted in 3 weeks.
Has it been that
long? I know, right? It didn't really feel that long.
No, it hasn't felt that long.
It's been close to a month. And we got a lot to talk about because a lot of stuff happened while I was at the beach. We didn't get to it last week. We both have forgotten several times this week. We finally get to it. We're here on Friday night. First of all, what's new with you?
Same, man. Just waiting for stuff to open back up.
Is Baltimore still closed down?
No, not really. No, honestly, not really. I think the capacity is now 50%.
Yeah.
So, like, everybody's, like, trying to make, like, an outside area that you can do shit in. So, like, that's what most of the restaurants and stuff are doing. So, like, all that stuff's completely open. It's not that bad.
Right. I'm so sick of this shit.
I know. Me too, man. I wanted to go to some football games this year. I'm sick.
Well, we can get into that. We can get into that in a bit. But, you know what? Screw it. Let's go ahead and talk about it. That's the newest news right now. What are your thoughts on this? Did you listen to the podcast I did with one of my grad school buddies?
I didn't get a chance to, but I don't know, man. This shit's kind of crazy because it's such. I guess it really depends on like the area they're in, but dude, if everybody on the field is like agreed to play football, I don't understand what the problem is. You know what I mean? I understand, like, dude, kids, they're not getting paid, so if they don't want to play, like, I get that. Like,
I get that too.
No big deal. But dude, if like obviously everyone that's suited up is going to want to play. Like,
this is setting. It all started, I should say, with this whole sitting out thing. Just players. This is something that's on my mind. It all started with who was it? Leonard Fournette, I think, opted out of the bowl game to focus on the draft. Then a few other athletes have done it, and at first I was like, okay, you know what, whatever, it's the bowl game, who cares? Especially if it's a bowl game no one cares about.
Yeah, but it's not a New Year's Six game.
But then now we're seeing guys opt out of a season in blaming COVID, and I'm still thinking to myself, this is setting a precedent, regardless of if it's COVID. If these guys who are surefire first-round picks, they'll just sit out a whole season.
I don't know how many guys could retain their first-round status for doing that. Obviously, there's probably one or two guys a year that could.
That's true. That's fair.
Set some, like, I mean, dude, if you don't play, like, you're probably not going to go top 10. Like, that's just, unless you're Trevor Lawrence could have sat out after his true freshman year when he won the national championship and just got drafted. Like, that type of stuff is true, but, if you're like a running back and you just don't play for a year, like, you're not going near the
you're right about that.
None of that.
And as far as I know, I do think there's a few. I've seen, I think, as many as 4 or 5 guys who are projected first-rounders so far that are opting out. But, like I said, I don't really mind that, with the whole COVID thing. You don't want to take any chances. I get that. But what we were talking about on the podcast is, number one, they can cower these conferences, Big 10, Pac-12, and if the Big 12, SEC, ACC cower behind it eventually, behind player safety, I don't know who's going to believe that. I don't believe that. I think it's bullshit right off the bat. The lawyers are whispering in the ears of the presidents saying we can't, risk a lawsuit. I don't think it has anything to do with player safety whatsoever.
They're covering their own ass for sure. I mean, that is a guarantee.
Yeah,
guarantee. I mean, when have they ever cared about player safety in the NCAA or anything related to the athlete at all? I mean, honestly, which is kind of ironic because it's their whole job. I don't know.
Well, and the other things we got into, we talked about that for a bit, and we talked about how this is going to not just decide who's playing this year and who's playing, who's playing and who's not. This is going to determine possibly the future of college football because
absolutely,
if some teams, and we talked about it, we got into the conspiracy theory a bit, but a lot of these television contracts with conferences are up in the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
If you have a team like Nebraska who's been very outspoken about playing this year, who's to say they won't just be like, we're going to play regardless, Big Ten, and then the Big Ten says, okay, well, you're not going to play in the Big Ten anymore. We're kicking you out. I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, I don't either because I don't think the Big 12 will take them back. That's the rumor right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think the other team that's been pretty outspoken is Ohio State. And I don't see Ohio State being the founding member, one of the founding members of the Big Ten, leaving the Big Ten.
Nothing's happening to
so
Ohio State, dude.
It could happen. Not right away, though. But give it 5 years when realignment's likely going to happen again.
Yep. You have no idea, dude. Yeah, I agree. I hope we go to the ACC. I'm sick of being in the Big 12, personally.
So that's another one. I forgot to bring this up to my friend, but
we're ACC school, bro.
I know.
That's where we need
to
be.
No, I agree. But their commissioner, John Swafford, is resigning after this athletic year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys who's on the short list to be the new ACC commissioner is Shane Lyons, our athletic director.
Mm-hmm.
So he's worked in the ACC. That's where he came from before. He went to Alabama, then WVU.
Interesting.
So if he gets the ACC commissioner job and conference realignment occurs in 5 years, that's something to think about.
I don't know. It's hard to compete with the Texas schools and stuff. I mean, we do for the most part, but we don't get any Texas recruits. We don't get any Oklahoma recruits. We don't get any of those players. We don't get any of the Louisiana recruits. None of those kids come to West Virginia. So I just don't want to be there. We can compete with we can get the Pennsylvania kids and the Maryland kids and the Jersey kids, Florida kids. The East Coast people, I feel like we do fine. That's why we need to be in the Atlantic Coastal Conference. I've been saying that for 4 years now, 5 years
James, we've been saying that for 50
we should have
years.
went right from the big.
And the ACC has spurned us at least 3 times. So
isn't it because of our academics or something?
That's what they claim. I call bullshit. They let Louisville in.
I mean, they're still probably better than us, on paper.
Maybe by a fraction. But come on.
You're right, though.
I mean, it's one thing to take, or to vote in, Miami or something they did, which is a good academic school. Yeah. It's another to let Louisville in and not let us in. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we talked about was this could lead to, if all Power 5 conferences choose to opt out of the season, it could lead to squeezing out the Group of 5, because Group of 5, a lot of their revenue comes from playing these big schools, getting their ass kicked and getting a big paycheck. Yep. And the FCS as well. I think those are the schools this will affect the most. We talked about it a little bit. Division 2, Division 3, not so much, because they don't make a lot of money anyway, and a lot of their money comes from donations, not so much revenue.
You know what else is the ripple effect I was hearing the other day in one of the podcasts I was listening to? Is a lot of these schools aren't even going to be able to have any other athletics.
Yep.
They're going to have no money. I mean, none of those. Only men's basketball and football turns a profit in colleges. So, swimming team, not going to be a thing. All that bullshit. I don't want to say bullshit. It's not bullshit at all. All that stuff is
it's not fair. I mean, I don't want to see these programs lose their, funding or whatever, these smaller schools or smaller programs, which don't get me wrong, it wouldn't hurt my feelings, but I don't want to see that happen. No one wants to see that happen. I want to see kids get a shot at college sports.
Nah, absolutely. I wish I could.
But yeah, I'm glad you said ripple effect, because I do think this is going to have a huge ripple effect, especially if all 5 Power 5 conferences say they're not going to.
It's going to take years to recover from this.
Oh, I said Power 5 would be fine, especially, Alabama's, Ohio State, Clemson's, all them. A school like West Virginia will probably struggle for a year or 2 because we don't make as much money as them anyway, but we get back on our feet eventually. And then I thought a school like, or schools, FCS schools, small Group of 5 schools like the MAC schools or Conference USA schools, Marshall, all those. They're done for at least, I said, 5 years, maybe even a decade.
I know, dude. Marshall, come on. What are they doing?
Marshall sucks. we don't talk about Marshall. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And this is very concerning. This is why I was very frustrated when the Big Ten made this decision. Not from a football consumption standpoint, because, I wasn't that hurt. We've been without sports just about for the last few months anyway. I could go another few months. But just from trying to find a job. I've been trying to get a job in college athletics for 5 months now.
I didn't think about that.
Exactly. Man. And if there's not jobs, there's no revenue to hire people like me. And you always get your start in a small school. And if there's no jobs at small schools, there's no jobs for anyone. So I'm really cheering for the SEC, ACC, and Big 12 to go through with this decision, and even the smaller AAC, whatever else. Yeah. Another thing I thought was funny was these conferences that aren't playing, have you noticed that they're regionalized? So, like, the MAC isn't playing. They're in the same area as the Big Ten. You got the Mountain West and the WAC, whatever else, on the West Coast. Can't play because of the Pac-12. But the AAC, which is kind of all over, I think the Conference USA might be still playing, kind of all over, in that Southeast region. And the Sun Belt in the Southeast region are all still playing. You know what? You see what I'm saying?
No, that is true. Them boys love football down there.
That they do. Anything else? Again, you can listen. We go really in depth in our last podcast.
No, I do need to listen to it.
Yeah, feel free to listen to that. Dylan was a great guest. He really gave some nice perspectives, but I just wanted to touch up on it here because we were already on the subject anyway.
It's interesting.
It's
and not in a good way.
It's not at all. I'm worried. I'm still not. I don't think we're out of the woods. We got a month. You know, we got a month till the NFL season starts.
I know, it's beautiful.
That was I read that tweet the other day.
Doesn't feel like it though.
And it was, Chiefs Texans in a month, and I was like, really? Then I said, okay, but that's a Thursday night game, whatever. And then it dawned on me, or it came through yesterday, I think. Green Bay, Minnesota, Week 1, a month from now. I was like, God, this has flown
what
by.
A game.
I don't know if it's because there's no football on TV, but it just doesn't feel like we're that close.
Well, they're not, because I think they're just now starting, like, unpadded practices.
Right.
That's why. We're supposed to be in preseason right now, dude.
I want to say, we always say, especially last year, we would always say football's back.
Is it?
Yeah, I was just about to say, is it?
That's very debatable, honestly. I mean, it is.
It is back. We'll put it in quotations.
How, football was 50 years ago when there was just no media at all. You just practiced, and then when the games happened, you read about it in the paper the next day.
Other than that, you were at home with your family, and then you read a book before going to bed.
Listen to the radio.
Which I still have tried to do.
Doesn't work for me.
It does. It's good because it's better to have read about it. It's better to look at a book than it is your phone before going to bed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The blue light keeps you up all night. I know.
Yeah. So I've been trying to do that more and more during quarantine, and I've done a decent job at it.
Makes you tired too.
It does make. I can barely get through a chapter now. I used to be able to read as much as possible. Now I can barely get through a chapter.
Exactly. That's perfect.
So the big news that happened before I went to the beach, and we were going to podcast about it at the beach, or while I was at the beach, was Jamal Adams getting traded to the Seahawks. I think you like this move. Well, I shouldn't say that. We both thought it's a great move. I think you think it's going to be he's going to make a better impact than I think.
I've kind of thought on it a little more. I do think he's going to make a big impact. I just don't know how much of it's going to move the needle as far as wins goes.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done the analytics. I mean, quarterbacks are the only players on the team that account for more than a point per game. So I mean, they're going to have a way better defense because of him. But will they even win one more game because of him?
They were an 11-win team last year. They were 11-5.
No, I just mean I don't even mean on building off of last year. I'm just saying with Jamal Adams on the team this year coming up, or without him, would they win another game with or without Jamal Adams? They'll probably go 10-6 with or without him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So that's
because they won 11 games last year. 10 of them were in one possession games, and I just was talking about this off air. You're not going to likely get those wins back the following year.
I can't believe. Holy shit, dude! I can't believe they gave up 2 first round. Yeah, the more I think.
And I was just about to ask you about that later on, but yeah.
That's steep. I mean, they do have Russ, but if you don't have first round picks to get really good cheap players,
I keep bouncing around. I saw a tweet yesterday from Greg Williams, who is the defensive coordinator with the Jets, saying that I think he's going to get bored in Seattle or something along those lines.
They just do too high every time, and
that's
fine.
Pete Carroll said, "We don't make as many mistakes as the Jets," and I laughed and said,
True.
"Pete Carroll, it is true," but I said, "That's like the pot calling the kettle black, though. In the last 5 years, they've made plenty of mistakes."
Nah, that's true. I'm still tripping off the Rashad Penny pick. What a terrible pick.
But we're kind of in the same boat then. I said from the get-go, it's a great move. It makes their secondary a whole lot better. I'm just not sure overall how much better he'll make their defense, because their defense, I wrote about it on my blog, was toward the bottom in just about every stat: pass defense, rush defense, sacks, the whole thing. The only two stats they were somewhat decent at were third down defense and I think turnovers forced. So, I mean, they'll probably still be good in those two areas with Adams, but how much better is he going to take them from ranking from like 18 to 30 in a lot of categories to, if anything, he might get them to middle of the pack in that 12 to 8 to 12 or 14 range.
Exactly. He's a big impact player, but I don't know, man. He is still a safety at the end of the day. I mean,
right, and I'm not saying safeties aren't valuable, because they are in today's passing league, but when you don't have a pass rush, which the Seahawks don't, I just don't think he's that valuable.
Exactly. How valuable is the secondary when you're not getting a pass rush? Because you already, I mean, it's been proven, like, you're not covering a receiver, an NFL receiver, for more than like 3 seconds. So, like, you need them to get home, or you're going to get burned. It doesn't matter if you're Deion Sanders. So, yeah.
Exactly. There was something else. Back to what we were talking about. Joe Douglas knows what he's doing, man.
No, 100%.
I saw a lot of people defending him, which was valid, but they were making reasons like, when you're offered 2 firsts for a safety, you got to do it. And I honestly thought,
it's true.
I know, but is anyone saying that's stupid to get rid of Adams for 2 firsts? You're not going to do anything with him because you're not going to win.
2 firsts plus, and you don't have to pay him. Dude, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't have paid Jamal Adams, but like,
I would
have to pay him too. Yeah. That's like an extra big bonus on top of that. You don't have to pay. Yeah.
I did see that. They showed where Adams has lined up all over the field, and with the Jets, he's all over the field.
Like, 100%.
Safety, linebacker, edge rusher. I mean, he's truly versatile and can play wherever. Problem is, Seattle's not going to use him that way.
I love Jamal Adams.
I do think he's a great player. I would have paid him, but that's the Jets, and I don't think it's a stupid decision. You're not going to win with him.
Like I said, I think they would have. I mean, I don't think he wanted to be there, but like, if he did want to be there, I think they would have. If forget what I was going to say.
Joe Douglas knows they got a lot to do. They could have paid him, but by the time they would have gotten good, I think they will get good with Joe Douglas in charge. By the time they get good, it'll be time to pay him again.
Exactly.
And be time to pay for probably a few other players too. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Nope. Agreed.
What else was there? You watch Hard Knocks yet?
No, I haven't.
I just watched the first episode tonight.
Is it good?
It was all right. I mean, it's the first
episode.
The
Rams have been on there like 3 times.
The Rams were on it when they first went out to LA. But I was thinking the same thing. I thought we had just seen something with them and with Sean McVay as their coach. But I don't remember.
Same, and we definitely did with Jeff Fisher too.
Exactly, that's the one I'm thinking of. But I feel like we've even seen a whole season, maybe, or a Hard Knocks with Sean McVay in charge. But maybe
that's
we
what
haven't.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
maybe we haven't, but maybe it was the Barstool thing, because I feel like they always go talk to Sean McVay, like they're like buddies with him.
I mean, that is true, but it does. I thought the same thing. Like, weren't we just with the Rams?
Yeah.
I know it definitely feels like we were with them with the Chargers. But then I started thinking about it. I'm not sure I've seen the Chargers on Hard Knocks. I've been watching it the last 5 years. But it was okay. It was mostly COVID related, which I could do without. But I mean, there's not much else to talk about right now.
Exactly. That's what's.
Honestly, I just thought it was funny. They would watch, or you watch them, and they go through every day. It shows their routine, how they get tested. It looks like it takes 2 hours to go through that before you even enter the building. And they're telling Sean McVay all these different things. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, whatever. And then one time during practice, he's huddled with 8 guys. They're not abiding social distancing. They're not wearing masks. Like, he's got his mask around his chin, talking to his guys. And I was like, well, okay, he just threw everything out the door right there. I thought we were supposed to.
I'm glad the NFL's at least being semi-strict, because I want a season. I don't think they're going to stop the season at this point.
I don't either, no.
I don't want it to be shortened or anything.
No, I don't think they will. The NFL, I mean, is the one league I feel like that can corral their guys, I guess. I don't know.
No, they can. Dude, there's a whole league in Canada that they can just filter guys in that'll go out there and play football. So
true. But the best part of that episode was the Chargers cut a tight end. They were cutting, they made some roster cuts and they cut this guy. He walks into Anthony Lynn's office, who's the head coach of the Chargers, and said, "Bruh, this is bullshit."
Before he even got cut, or right
I
after?
think it was he had found out.
Oh, okay.
And he walked into Anthony Lynn's office and he said, "Bro, this is bullshit. I busted my ass all off season and you got me." He was like, "Dude, we think you're a good player, but you're like the 5th guy on the depth chart right now, tied in. What do you want us to do?" He didn't say that to him, but he walked into the GM's office, who, I forget his name. I can't remember his name, but he walked into the GM's office like next door and was like, "Did you talk to so-and-so?" "Yeah, I let him know the news, whatever." And he said, "He just walked into my office telling me it was bullshit." And, he was like, "I think he's a nice guy, great player, whatever." He said, "But he ain't Antonio Gates."
Or Hunter Henry for that.
Yeah, exactly. But it was all right. The other thing I know I wanted to talk about was the NFL Top 100, which I know we both have issues with. You being an Eagles fan, go ahead and voice your displeasure.
So it's voted on by the players, and like the players, first of all, the players don't watch all the games, and I know some people would take players' opinions take that into account much higher. I can tell you there's a bunch of things wrong with the list. I won't even get into the Carson Wentz thing. That's fine, because apparently they vote on that like halfway through the year. He was having a mediocre season up to that point. Whatever. We both know he's a top 100 player. That's fine. I didn't even care
James, he's better than that. He's a top 20 player.
Lane Johnson wasn't in that shit. Lane Johnson is
ridiculous.
Easily one of the top 50
He's
players
the
in the league.
top right tackle if he still plays right tackle.
Yeah, he does in football.
Yeah.
Like seriously, and there's only like a couple guys that are even close, and like he wasn't in it. I'm pretty sure there was a center ahead of Jason Kelsey, even though he's been first team All-Pro the last 3 years in a row. Dude, 2 quarterbacks being ahead of Patrick Mahomes tells you all you need to know right there.
There were 2? I know Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson and
was it Lamar?
And
yeah,
Lamar
it was Lamar. He got the number one.
1.
Dude.
Like, that tells you right there. I mean, come on. Like,
I couldn't believe when I saw that he was 4th. I was like, there is not 3 players. There's not one player better than Patrick Mahomes in this league.
No.
Aaron Donald, no. I could kind of see the argument.
In a different way, yeah.
I could kind of see it. But
dude, Todd Gurley was like 52. Todd Gurley last year, like, did he even touch the ball more than like 100
So
times?
I will say this, because we've both been very hard on Todd Gurley. His numbers, I'll pull them up here, were better than what I thought. But even then, he was still a shell of himself.
I thought he didn't even touch the ball that much last year. Well, never mind. I'm just talking out of my ass there.
No, I'm still with you. I don't think he's real. I think his best days are behind him. So his numbers last year were 223 attempts, 857 yards, 12 touchdowns. Better than what I thought.
That's 12 touchdowns. He is a touchdown machine, dude. He has a nose for the end zone.
But he averaged 3.8 yards per attempt, and let me see his receiving yards. 207 receiving yards. The previous 2 years, he had 580 and 788. Again, I still think he's a shell of himself.
Years ago. No, he absolutely is. I mean, his knees are shot.
Yeah.
So.
But they were better than what I thought. But I still don't think he's a top 100 player in the NFL right now.
And I mean, listen, it's all like that stuff's all like opinion based, dude. But I'm gonna tell you right now, like Josh Allen being ahead of Carson Wentz, like, come on, dude.
We love Josh Allen.
We are what?
We're a pro Josh Allen podcast.
Absolutely. Dude, come on. He is not a top
100 Where did he end up? Was he at 100?
In the 70s, bro.
If he were at 100, I'd be
Dude, he has a long way to go before he's like a good NFL quarterback still. He's just a beast.
I don't know
he's
how
a beast.
You can rank Josh Allen ahead of Carson Wentz.
Same. Dude, there was a couple people in there, but like that was the... Dude, not only were the stats not even close, I understand stats don't always tell the whole story. Dude, he beat the shit out of Josh Allen head-to-head in Buffalo. Like, come on, man.
I like Josh Allen, but good Lord have mercy. That's ridiculous. It makes me upset that Carson Wentz.
And I think Kyler Murray literally has a chance to like win MVP this year. I'm not even exaggerating.
No, I would put.
Come on, dude. Off last year, he shouldn't have been there either. Like, come on.
Kyler Murray was in the top 100.
Yeah.
You know that Daniel Jones threw more touchdown passes than Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray only had like what, 23, 24?
He had 20, I think. Daniel Jones had 24. But Daniel Jones.
I thought Daniel Jones had more because he had a couple games where
maybe
he had like 4 TDs. I think he had like 27 or 28 because he had like 3 games where he threw 4 touchdowns. I don't know what he did the other games though to like make up for that, but
no, he threw 24.
Oh shit, cool.
But he also had 23 interceptions or 23 turnovers.
They're going to be bad this year.
Yeah, I don't know how bad, but I showed you their schedule.
At least the Redskins have a really good defensive line.
That's the one thing going for the Giants is the Washington football team. I knew I was going to do it.
Yeah,
I knew before the show I was going to do it.
I did on accident. When are they just going to change the damn name? Apparently they're trying to get Snyder to sell a team, which is cool.
Have you?
I mean,
have we talked about all the stuff that's been going on? Yeah, we talked about all the stuff going on in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Dan Snyder sells the team. Like the Washington football team is just one of those. I think one of those teams.
Franchise.
Yeah, they're one of the oldest teams.
Giants, Cowboys, Packers. It's that type of team.
Dallas, Pittsburgh, Denver. Yep. I mean, all those teams have been in the league for a long time. Philadelphia even.
Teams. Yeah.
They're better when they're good, and
agreed.
They haven't been good really since the Joe Gibbs area.
The NFL is good when the NFC East is good.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
I would agree with that.
Because
I would say NFC North and NFC East.
I know, I agree, but just wildly popular teams. Yeah, I mean, dude, Green Bay is like a cult following team.
Same with Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota's got a lot of fans.
And obviously the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
Even
Lions.
Are the only ones fucking up there.
I don't know about the Lions. No one really gives a shit, but they have. They do. Them in Cleveland have the most loyal fans.
They have to, dude.
Yeah. I felt like there was something else I wanted to talk about. I know something that came to mind that you just told me. I got a bone to pick with you.
What?
Is you pulling this whole I'm hopping on the Philadelphia Flyers bandwagon.
They got their ass kicked today. It's probably my fault. They got fucking demolished today.
I'm going to tell you right now. I almost lost a friend already. My friend Steven, who is a huge St. Louis Blues fan. The Blues and Bruins played in the Stanley Cup last year, and the Blues beat the Bruins. I almost lost one friend. Am I going to have to lose another?
Well, hold on. It's not like I have another hockey team and I'm jumping on
no.
now. Like, if I was going to pull for a hockey team, it would be the Flyers. I'm just not as big of a hockey fan as I wish I was. I wish I watched more of it, to be honest with you.
No, it's fun. I'm surprised how much I love it right now. If you told high school me that it would be my second favorite sport 10 years from now, I would laugh. But now, if the Flyers beat the Bruins and you start wearing Flyers shit and hopping on Twitter and being, go Flyers.
Oh, no, I mean, I'll say go Flyers, but I'm not going to give any, analysis.
No, that's fine. But then, but especially if the Flyers win the whole thing, I'm going to be so upset. This is your first goddamn year as a fan, and your team's going to go and win it all. It's like being a Vegas Golden Knights fan when they were in the Stanley Cup a few years ago.
No, I know. That would be awesome. I hope they do. It'd be sweet. Philly needs it.
It'll make me sick because I had to go through a Game 7 loss last year, and I was heartbroken for months, at least a month. I'm still not completely over it, but
the Phillies have.
That was the one. I always, being when I got into hockey, I'd always be like, man, how would I feel if the Bruins lost the Stanley Cup? Would I really care? I was like,
you did.
Would I care that much? Really? Am I really that invested? And I swear to God, dude, Game 7 the day after Game 7, I was hurting. I was at the beach, and I was like, I just sat in the hot tub, and I poured me a drink, and I just drank the entire day in the hot tub. I was like, fuck, I guess I do love hockey. I'm hurting.
No, that's a good thing, though.
I know, it is a good thing.
That's a good thing.
How are your Phillies doing?
Dude, they had the worst bullpen in, the history of the MLB. Dude, their ERA is, 10.8. I swear to God, I'm not joking.
Are they at least still in the playoff picture?
No. And you know what's crazy? Dude, Real Muto and Bryce Harper raking. Bryce Harper's having an awesome season. Didi Gregorius is having a great season at the plate. Their relief pitching is absolutely, you can't win. They're letting up 6 runs a game. You're just going to lose every time.
The Reds and Mets aren't any better either.
I heard DeGrom just got shut down today.
Today, yeah, he had some stiff neck. I know what I wanted to talk about. Did we talk about Myles Garrett and Joey Bosa? Maybe Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
I don't think we
did.
talked about Joey Bosa though.
No, we did. That was the last thing we talked about. That in the Washington football team.
I don't remember that at all. I saw that on Hard Knocks. They made Joey Bosa sign his big contract, which $27 million, dude, a year. Like, I wouldn't really hesitate to pay an edge rusher today, but $27 million.
If he was like a tank that didn't get hurt, I would have paid him that without even blinking. But like, dude, he gets hurt all the time.
I mean, Myles Garrett's not really been picture healthy either.
No, I know.
But that, like, we're talking quarterback money when you get up to $27 million.
That used to be that was like the highest paid player in the league like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. That's it, not even, I don't think.
Like I said, that's
got the first $30 million contract, and I swear that was like 4 years ago. $30 million a year contract,
I mean, did we talk about Mahomes? Yeah, we did, yeah. But shit, dude, like, I'm all for paying a quarterback and, these positions that I consider very valuable, quarterback, left tackle, center, edge rusher, corner. But I'm like, $27 million.
It's a lot, dude.
Like, I would let him walk, I think, for that amount.
That's why they're doing it, bro. They don't have to pay a quarterback.
That's true. They don't have to pay Herbert for 4 years. And then by the time Bosa's deal is up, if Herbert turns out to be really good, it'll be Herbert, if they'll sign Herbert, probably get rid of Bosa and, start over, whatever.
Or maybe they'll keep him. Who knows?
I mean, that is true. I didn't think about that. You don't have to worry about a quarterback right now.
That's 1,000 billion% the reason they didn't care as much to give him that.
Have you watched your Eagles yet?
What do you mean?
Like, have they posted any practice stuff?
Oh yeah, they showed a video of Deshaun Jackson burning Darius Slay and Carson Wentz dropping a dime. That was it though. I salivated though for like 25 minutes. It was amazing. First clip of Eagles football I've seen in like 7 months, 8 months, 9 months.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I saw WVU put the full pads on the other day, and it said this was their first time they put full pads on since Thanksgiving because we didn't go to a bowl game. And we only had 2 days of spring ball in before COVID happened, and they didn't put full pads on. I was like, geez, that's a long time.
That is a long time.
I haven't seen anything regarding Green Bay outside of they haven't put any guys on the COVID IL, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Doug Peterson's back. I don't think anyone's been back on. So.
How it took him like 2 days?
I think he had to technically quarantine for 8 or something, but he was asymptomatic. He just tested positive, so he was fine. He just had to quarantine.
That is the one thing I will say with this that's so dangerous, but also
so
not really a big deal at the same time.
Exactly.
I'm in this in between where you can be positive for this thing with 0 symptoms and potentially spread it and kill somebody.
Yeah.
But also you don't show any symptoms.
Do I even have it if I'm not showing
exactly.
any symptoms?
That's the fucking problem.
I know.
And then people just want you to live in your shell. Oh, but you could spread it to somebody else. Okay. Why don't we? Are we like this with? And I'm not saying it's the flu. It's not the flu, but I'm like, do you have this attitude when it's flu and cold season?
No.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I've kind of stretched it out.
Good.
I wanted to go as long as we possibly could.
No, we went pretty good. There's Damian Lillard went off last night.
Yeah, so cool. I haven't watched any of the NBA. I've only been watching hockey. How's that been going?
I've been watching some of it. It's good. The bubble's over. All the seasons they said it's about to be NBA. I mean, all that was kind of bullshit besides the Blazers trying to get in, which they did because Dame.
Yeah, I saw that they played the Nets last night, and if the Nets had won, the Phoenix Suns would have gone to the playoffs. Yeah. And I was cheering for that because Javon Carter plays for the Suns and has been playing really well. And that was stupid, though. They went 8-0 in the bubble.
No, and Devin Booker.
I did see that, but I haven't watched any of the NBA bubble outside of the first 1 or 2 days until the hockey playoffs started.
Now I'm gonna watch some playoff basketball though.
I don't give a shit, honestly. I'd rather watch hockey.
I mean, I'm gonna try to get into some hockey too. But all right, brother.
You got plenty of time. All right, I'll let you go. I gotta eat dinner.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Later.